No, it's not hypothetical.
Sure it is.
This is what quantum physics is about.
Quantum physics still isn't an established science in the arena where you can actually say that there's more intelligence out there. That, for example, if you tell somebody that the brick wall that they're going to smash their car into isn't solid, they're going to have one heck of a time believing you.
Well, it's because what's smashing into it and what is being, if you're smashing your car into the brick wall, both the car and the brick wall are relatively the same thing. So it appears to be solid. But the thing is that's not, there's a lot of things that we nowadays understand isn't the way things are, even if it doesn't look that way. For example, the sun comes up and goes down, but doesn't really.
Well, we've known this for centuries.
Yes, but
so how does that relate to quantum physics?
Well, it's what I'm trying to express is that quantum physics is telling us things about our reality that are hard to believe now. But so was the fact that we were spinning around space as a ball, at one time.
All right, so it's just like saying the world is flat, and now we know it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, give me some examples of how quantum physics has actually changed the reality of certain perceptions.
Well, I think that quantum physics is really responsible for the computer, for example, and certainly if you think I'm certainly old enough to know what the world was like before any of this technological wizardry was around.
Now, just let me ask you a question here. How is quantum physics responsible for the development of the computer at IBM when IBM first came out with their first computers? How did quantum physics fit into that? Because I've never heard that before.
Well, the silicon chip has a lot to do with all of this new technological advancement, and without it, if you have just Newtonian physics, you can't do these things. And believe me, listen, I am not a scientist. Everything that I know and have learned about all this has been work that has been done by very accomplished scientific people,
right?
But they have interpreted this for people like me, lay people who cannot, I don't know, I couldn't explain, anything except the very most rudimentary things about quantum physics to anyone. But I trust the people that I have read, and besides, there's a lot of examples around, for us to see that what they're talking about is real.
So are you saying that your book, The Universe in Black and White, is based on other people's findings?
Yes, in actuality, what it really is my children and I explored for years what it who are we? We ask that question. Who are we? What is science discovering? How is this changing our paradigm? What are the conflicting worldviews? What are the differences between Eastern and Western philosophies, et cetera, et cetera? And we studied, and there's just a lot of information out there. People like, for example, David Bohm or Fred Alan Wolf or Deepak Chopra, or the list just is endless of people who are doctors and scientists and all who are trying to tell us what they have discovered about our world. And where's the beginning of this, really? Even though quantum physics has been around for over 100 years, we're pretty new. It takes a while for all of this stuff to filter down to the lay people, people like you and I who aren't in a position to be able to understand what is, theoretically, mathematically, et cetera, going on.
Let me ask you this. How do you relate the universe in black and white to what we're seeing today in the Middle East? For example, the turmoil now between Syria and Turkey, and what has gone on in Egypt, what has gone on in Lebanon, and how does quantum physics and the universe in black and white relate to that?
Boy, I wasn't expecting a question like that. Um, other than that, that any time that science really tells us that something, it discovers or uncovers, might be a better word, truths about our our world, our environment, what we are actually, then it eventually changes everything. I mean, when Newtonian physics showed up, and the Industrial Revolution happened, it changed everything. Really pretty much across the board around the world.
But you're saying that what I'm hearing is that you're relating everything in the past to quantum physics, and yet according to experts, quantum physics have only been around in the 20th century.
Well, no. What do you mean I'm relating it? I'm trying to give you show you that or talk about the fact that Newtonian physics it came before quantum physics. I mean, we rolled along here, and as we've moved and our understandings have grown, then we have moved into. It isn't that Newtonian physics went away; we still use Newtonian physics, but quantum physics is a bigger picture, a bigger overview of our whole worldview, our whole perception of what is real.
All right. If quantum physics is giving us a new look at what we believed to be true with Newtonian physics, does that mean in years to come, science is going to come out with a new way of explaining how we were wrong about quantum physics, like they're coming out and saying, well, Newtonian physics isn't exactly right? Are we going to see this in the future?
I'm certain it will. We keep where our consciousness is expanding all the time, and we keep having to incorporate more findings, more of what we understand as time goes on. I'm absolutely sure of that. In fact, it probably, people in this field probably already know where we're headed, even beyond this.
Do we need to know where we're heading using quantum physics, or should we live one day at a time?
I think that, obviously, I think there's not much we can do except live one day at a time. But if you're curious or if you're I would say that a lot of people are having a little bit of difficulty with their lives right now.
All right, Terry, stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. X-Zone Nation, Terry Favour's our guest this hour. She's the author of The Universe in Black and White, a plain and simple illustrated guide to time, space, and the meaning of life. Her website, www.terryfavour.com. That's Terry, Favour.com. We'll be back right after the news. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. Don't go away. My name is Rob McConnell, and I would like to tell you about a very special lady that I have the pleasure of knowing, and that's Miss Sylvia Anthony. Sylvia Anthony believes the golden years are a time to gear up and get busy, not relax and take it easy. She has faced many hardships in her 84 years, but they have made her stronger and more determined. As founder and president of Sylvia's Haven, a shelter for women and their children near Boston, Sylvia has helped transform over 1,086 lives in the past 27 years, not only with housing, but also providing direction as to where they can go to develop the earning skills they want and need to live free from difficult domestic situations. Sylvia's Haven is everything to Sylvia Anthony, even calling it her magnificent obsession. Women who qualify for the program at Sylvia's Haven receive assistance via guidance counselors to find the appropriate job opportunity. Women and their children may remain at the housing for up to 2 years. At the end of this time, or sooner, a woman who is successfully employed and has an apartment or home may leave Sylvia's Haven to begin a new and independent life. Now this is where you come in to help make Sylvia's dream into a reality. Sylvia's dream is to have a Sylvia's Haven in every state to help as many women and their children as she can, and to help this dream come true. A crowdfunding site has been established which can be accessed at www.sylviasdream.org. Now that's www.sylviasdream.org. With your financial help and support, Sylvia Anthony will continue to help those in their time of need, not only in the Boston area, but with her dream of having a Sylvia's Haven in every state of the United States. Your help is needed to make Sylvia's dream come true. Please visit and give at www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. And remember, the only difference between a dream and reality is just doing it. We need your help to make Sylvia's dream come true. Visit www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. For the X Zone Radio TV show and the X Chronicles newspaper, I am Rob McConnell. You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Welcome back to the X Zone. Terry Favour is our guest this hour. Terry's written a book entitled The Universe in Black and White, a plain and simple illustrated guide to time, space, and the meaning of life. Her website is www.terryfavour.com. That's Terry, Favour.com. Terry, how does the relationship of self-oneness, relate to the world around us, not only in our own physical space, but within the different religious philosophies that go from east to west?
There's the phrase, or, when one says something like, what is self to oneness, yes, or form to emptiness, or something on that order. What we're really talking about is the relationship of the physical world, everything that we can see, feel, touch, talk about, mm-hmm, and then what our source is. And so if you're talking religion, you're talking about the source being God, and the visible world being the manifestation of, say, God. I mean, there's an enormous, there are a lot of ways that people look at that.
So if this is all one universe, and if everything is based on the reality of the same, how come there are so many different religions with so many different origins?
Well, if you really take a good look at them, mm-hmm, you'll see that they have an awful lot in common. And probably the biggest difference is the Eastern look at the spiritual life and the Western look at the spiritual life. The Eastern tends to be more what quantum physics is telling us is true about our universe now, which is interesting because what it's doing is it's actually kind of melding the philosophies, the scientific philosophies of the West with the more psychological philosophies of the East,
Mm-hmm.
and which is